Okay, everyone, this is chapter 52, talking about groups. So what is our new language for today? Using adjectives as nouns, vocabulary, countries and nationalities, and new skill, generalizing politely. So talking about groups. So let's read our intro paragraph here. Sometimes you may want to talk generally about groups of people or different nationalities. It is important that you know the correct way to do this. So let's look at our first language point, nationality, adjectives as nouns. So that's when we take a group of people like Americans and we make them a noun in the sentence. But often I hear students describing nationalities incorrectly. They don't know how to do it. So we're going to show you how to do that today. Let's just read our key point here. To make generalizations about people from a particular country, modify the nationality adjective. If the adjective ends in CH, SH, ESE, or SS, you generally add the. So you need the article the before that nationality adjective. But most other nationalities take an S, but not the. So most, we're just going to add the S on the end, but we don't need the before that nationality adjective. Let's just give you some examples so we're clear. The first one here. So this is any nationality that ends in CH, SH, ESE, or SS. In this case, Chinese ends in ESE, so what do? Chinese design history is really fascinating. What do? We add the article the. So when we're describing Chinese people, we say the Chinese. So we don't say Chineses, or just the Chinese have invented many great things. But when we talk about Australia, if we move to the right, that's very different now. Most other nationalities, Australian rugby is very competitive. How do we change this? With Australian, we just add S. Australians love to watch their team play. So we don't say the Australians. That's grammatically incorrect. We just say Australians. It's the same thing with America or the Americans. We just say, do we say the Americans or Americans? We just say Americans love to watch their team play. Most nationalities, we do that. Brazilians love to watch their team play. We're going to get some, of course, exercises, practice with this. Let's look at some examples, further examples. So these are the correct way to describe yourself. If you're talking about your own country and your own people or other people's countries, let's not make mistakes with this if we can. We say the Spanish, the Japanese, the British, Americans, right? Know the. Greeks, know the. Russians, know the. Okay, but you know the grammar rule. You know the grammar rule. What is that? Let's go back. If it ends in CH, SH, ESC, or SS, that is when you add the. You don't add an S, just the. We just need to add the article the. And so we see that here because we have the endings for Spanish, Japanese, and British, right? The SH, the ESE, the SH. We add the article the. Can you do it? Pause the video and see if you can get it correct. Write the correct names for the different groups of people. So pause the video. All right, I'm going to give you the answers. Ready? So we have 7 of them. The first one is done for us. German, we say Germans. Next one is Swiss, we say the Swiss. Brazilian, Brazilians. 3, we say the Swedish. 4, Indians. We have 5, the French. We have number 6, Koreans, and number 7, Kenyans. So here are the answers on screen. Just check your answers. Next key point, key language. The with adjectives for certain groups. So what we do here is that some groups or classes of people are often also referred to using nouns that have been formed from adjectives. So nouns and adjectives, we often have different forms in English. So you should know that at this intermediate level. So we can have a word and we use it as a noun, or we can have a word and use it as an adjective. Okay. So let's see how we do that here. The example, rich people have bought most of the new houses in this town. But now what are we going to do? Let's change the sentence to say almost all the houses are owned by the rich people. So we took rich in the first sentence as an adjective describing the people, but now we took rich people and just made it a noun. So we just said the rich. Let's get some more examples, further examples. The with adjectives for certain groups. Example, emergency treatment for the injured is essential. The media sometimes portrays the young as lazy. Many charities try to protect the poor. The elderly often need the support of their families. So we can have the, and then we make it a noun using that adjective, and we create a noun, right? The rich, the injured, the poor, the young, the elderly. We're using them now as a noun, and we're not using it as an adjective. But all of these words in the examples can be used as adjectives. Because we can say, elderly people go to sleep early. Young people love social media. Injured people go to the hospital. Poor people don't have a lot of food. So I've used these as adjectives, but when we use it as a noun, we like to add the. Okay, so here's some examples that we just went over. Let's give you some practice. Pause the video, fill in the blank. The first one is done for you. Not every country's government gives financial help to the unemployed. So here are the words. Please fill in: unemployed, elderly, homeless, rich, young, injured, disabled. You've heard me say this before. When you have words that are new, pay attention to the words that are new and work with the word. It's called activation, to get the brain to remember and to tell your brain, hey, this word is important. So what do you do with it? You work with it, which means you do a fill-in-the-blank exercise, make your own sentence, speak out loud using the word in a sentence, do a matching, whatever it is, work with the word, and that helps your brain to remember. You're more likely to remember new words when you do something with the word. And everyone watching should have a vocabulary book. You should have a notebook. You can buy one, or you can just use a scrap piece of paper, whatever, but you should be writing down new words and have a place to keep that. And that's how you can build and grow your vocabulary. Okay. All right. Pause the video and then come back. Okay, let's look at number 1. It is the homeless are often without a house as a result of some very bad luck. Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate. Number 2, often the young are described as being addicted to gadgets and phones. Yeah, we've often used this point as a speaking in my conversation classes. We've done that before. Number 3, the rich often give lots of money to charity, but we don't know about it. Number 4, many countries have laws to ensure that the disabled can access public transportation. Number 5, after the accident, the injured were all taken to a nearby hospital. And number 6, the elderly have often cared for others all their lives and deserve care in return. So we've got to work with some of these words. Hopefully you got 100%. All right, so we are at the end of our chapter 52. So we talked about using adjectives as nouns. We talked about countries and nationalities and those words associated with that in chapter 51, and just generalizing politely. And we saw how to do that. Now let's go to chapter 53. That will be in the next video, old and new situations. See you next time. Please remember to like and subscribe.